Hey guys, in this episode I'll be featuring 5 rare Bruce Lee magazines, a series of magazines that came out in the mid-70s, and it's coming right up. What's up guys, Charles Damiano back from the Bruce Lee collection for another exciting episode of Bruce Lee Show and Tell. In this episode I'm going to be featuring a series of 5 books that came out in the mid-70s, over 43 years ago, that I have in my collection that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. Now these books came out and were published by Kung Fu Monthly, which was a very popular publishing company at the time, who put out the entire series of Kung Fu Monthly magazines back in the 70s as well. And those were big giant poster magazines that opened up into giant posters that you saw in a few of my episodes. But these are books that feature over 100 photos of Bruce Lee in each book. And when these came out, I was just floored. The first one's called The Secret Art of Bruce Lee, and it came out in 1976. It was printed in the United States, and when I saw this, I was very, very excited as a kid. I think I was 16 years old when this came out, and it had over 100 previously unpublished photos of Bruce Lee in action. And it's a beautiful magazine, and I'm gonna show you the back cover as well. And here's a couple of rare shots of Bruce in his Kung Fu gi on the beach, which are photos that we've seen throughout the years and I wish at one point get published. So this is a magazine that as a kid I cut up many copies because the photos in this magazine are simply incredible. They feature both black and white and full color page photos on Bruce Lee. So this one says over 100 previously unpublished photographs of Bruce Lee in action, The Secret Art of Bruce Lee Collector's Edition by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly. So that's the first one. And I'm gonna flip through a few of these at the end of the episode so you get an idea what's in these magazines. The second one is very rare. This one came out in 1977. It's called Bruce Lee in Action. It's the only one I have left in my collection. And I, by the way, took these out of the plastic bag so there's less glare as I'm showing these to you. And this one also, it says Unique Collector's Edition, contains many previously unpublished photographs of Bruce Lee in action. And this is also, again, these came out in the 70s by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly. And the back cover, you see a few pictures of Bruce with Linda Lee and Brandon Lee, again practicing at home, doing some form work on isometric movement that you see Bruce in the bottom. And there's a beautiful cover picture of Bruce Lee and the Chinese Connection when he just enters the school. Again, one of my favorite magazines. It's the only one left in my collection. All these, by the way, are in mint condition. Again, and when collecting, the condition of the magazine really makes everything. I've seen these go on eBay as high as 75 to 100 and up if you got them in mint condition. There are a lot that are in pretty bad condition online, which I would stay away from. If you're a true collector, I would look for them in mint condition. The next one we have here is called The Unbeatable Bruce Lee, again a manual of the master in action, another collector's edition. This one came out in 1978, so they were coming out every year. And when these hit the stands, I was really fascinated because, again, they're books and they're about 100 pages each. And they're just incredible. Again, it says by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly, and here you got Bruce chilling out with his shades on the cover, looking cool than ever. And then if you flip to the back of the issue, again you see Bruce in these rare photos of him practicing on the beach with his nunchucks. Again, collector's edition. And this is just a very special book that I collected when I was a kid and has some really great significance to me. When I see these, I just get excited all over again. Now, when this magazine came out, it was pretty intriguing. Just from the title alone, it's called Who Killed Bruce Lee. And at the time, everyone was looking into, you know, Bruce's death. How did he die? How could a healthy man pass away at such an early age? And this one goes into scores of photos of the master in action, but they also touch upon all the different theories that are out there on how Bruce passed away. And I'll cover this in another episode, and we'll go into depth on all the different theories that were out there on how he passed away. But for now, I just wanted to show you what this book looks like. It has a beautiful picture of Bruce from Enter the Dragon on the cover. And then if you flip it around, again, you see a couple more pictures of Bruce here from Return of the Dragon, here with his Gung Fu gi on, practicing on the beach. And it says, "Who Killed Bruce Lee" is probably the most extraordinary book of its kind ever written. A fascinating blend of fact and investigative speculation, it traces the destiny of the modern world's greatest martial artist from Bruce Lee's birth to his ultimate death. A death that shook the martial arts world to its very foundation. At last, from the editors of the world's largest selling martial art magazines, Kung Fu Monthly, a detailed examination of the question which has haunted millions: who killed Bruce Lee? Again, very intriguing book when it came out, and we'll review this on another episode in detail because this is a very, very interesting book. Let me know if you have any of these in your collection. I know these came out in the United States, so I was able to pick up all of them as a kid. And then the last one in the series is called The Power of Bruce Lee. And again, an illustrative analysis of Bruce Lee's fighting systems, again by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly. And this one shows a picture of Bruce from the Game of Death. And this one came out in 1979, and this is the magazine that ended the series. And again, it was a 5-part series, and I'm fortunate to have all of them in my collection in mint condition. And I'll show you the back cover as well. And as you can see, the back cover, not much on there, some cartoon illustrations of Bruce Lee handling the nunchucks. Again, produced by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly. Now, the interesting thing with these magazines, besides having a load of photos, which we're going to flip through one in a second so you at least get a glimpse of what's inside these magazines, is they also came out in hardcover. So these are the soft covers, and I'm going to show you now the hardcovers, and I'm fortunate to have 4 of the 5 hardcovers in my collection as well. So let me just grab those so you get an idea of what these beautiful hardcover magazines look. And they're the same covers, except they're hardbound. And these again are also in mint condition. So let me know, do you have the hardbound as well as the softbound in your collection? I do have a few copies of each. So if you guys are looking to pick up some of these, please shoot me an email. You know where to reach me by now. It's in the description below at cdbrlee@aol.com. And we can discuss these magazines. Maybe we'll do a trade. Maybe you like to purchase some. I do have a few copies left. And as you guys know me, I keep my stuff in really, really great condition. If not mint, near mint, or even excellent. So let me know if you need any of these. Again, this is the first one, The Secret Art of Bruce Lee, hardbound. And then you got the Unbeatable Bruce Lee with the shades, which I showed you earlier. Again, hardbound edition, collector's edition, and again, they use the same photos on the back and front of these, except they put them in hardbound copy, which I just had to get as a kid. Then you have the Who Killed Bruce Lee. Again, scores of photos of the master in action in hardbound as well by the editors of Kung Fu Monthly. And you got the back cover similar to the first one. And then in ending, The Power of Bruce Lee. Again, obviously the photo of Game of Death, an illustrated analysis of Bruce Lee's fighting systems. Great book. I believe the back cover is the same as the other one. And I'm just going to quickly browse through one of these so you get an idea what these look like inside these beautiful magazines. So as you flip through the book, again, this is a beautiful, as you can see, hardbound. It has a beautiful sleeve on it. And if you're looking for the hardbound, you have to make sure it has the sleeve, because a lot of collectors ask you, hey, does the hardbound edition have the sleeve? Because that's what makes it even more valuable. A lot of these sleeves were damaged years back, and a lot of collectors have taken them off. They may have framed them, and you usually will find the book without the sleeve. But I have the sleeve on a few of mine that I have available still. And back in the day, this was $2.98. I still have the price tag on it, which is simply amazing considering now something like this over 43 years old probably goes close to $100, if not more. And then just really quickly going through the magazine, again, this has a beautiful selection of both color and black and white photos on Bruce Lee. Here you have a nice full page photo, and these give you full page photos of Bruce in color from Green Hornet. And then again, here are those famous beach scenes where he's just sparring with Danny Nasanto on the beach. Again, another full color picture of Bruce laughing, and then more pictures of him on the beach. Again, these were just really, really fun magazines as a kid. I loved thumbing through them, and I cut up a lot of these magazines, as you've probably seen in an episode where I showed the photos in my attic all framed, and a lot of those photos came from these magazines because the pictures at the time were just so beautiful, and they were full color, and when you cut them out, they were kind of really easy to frame. So a few more fun pictures of Bruce on the beach. Here he is in Chinese Connection. You have him here kind of just chilling out without his shirt. Again, some more pictures on the beach practicing Gung Fu with Dan and Nasanto. Here is in a beautiful picture of Enter the Dragon. And as you thumb through, again, you just see all these beautiful, magnificent photos of Bruce Lee. And again, if you don't have this, I would definitely suggest looking for this. If you need a copy, let me know. I have a few left. A beautiful copy picture of Game of Death. Here he is in Chinese Connection. And again, it would just had scores of pictures in here. Here he is on the beach, and in ending the book, some more pictures of Bruce. Here he is with the tank top. As you can see, he sweat a lot from there. Eventually, he actually removed his sweat glands because he didn't really like all the sweat showing when he took pictures or even on screen. And again, that's one of the theories that people say, especially in Matthew Polly's book. His theory was that he removed his sweat glands in the 70s when he made Enter the Dragon, and his theory of him passing away is that he passed away from heat exhaustion or dehydration at the time because he wasn't releasing the sweat from his body, which was a cooling system. And here you could see him sweating profusely through his tank top. And again, just some really, really beautiful pictures of Bruce, and ending a picture of him in Fist of Fury. And here he is reading with his massive library of over 2,500 books. As you know, he was an avid reader and did most of his research from his book. So that's this book called The Secret Art of Bruce Lee. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I featured 5 softbound books as well as 4 hardbound books. Again, let me know if you have any of these. If you're looking for them, you can pick them up from my website or email me and we can work out an opportunity for you. It's cdbrlee@aol.com. For now, I want to thank you guys for always joining me each and every Friday. It's the collectors and fans like you who really make this station and this channel really special. I love sharing my collectibles with you each and every Friday. And again, if you haven't subscribed, and if you like the episode, please give it a thumbs up. And for those of you who are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe so you never miss another episode on Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee collecting. And for now, once again, Charles Damiano from the Bruce Lee Collection signing off saying, have fun collecting.